Have ever seen something incredible that no one believed was true? We bet you regretted not taking a picture to prove it. Brightside brings you some videos that illustrate unbelievable stories. Look through them to the end to see that almost everything in this world is possible. This collection of unbelievable moments that we have today, keep your eyes open, especially for number 1. That one is a doozy. Here are 15 moments caught on camera that no one believes. Number 15. Paraglider versus Dust Devil. A dust devil is a small and often short-lived whirlwind. They aren't considered extremely dangerous, but in the right, or in this case wrong circumstances, it poses much more of a danger than anybody would expect. In this video, a man was preparing his paraglider gear with a few other people on a popular launch spot in Australia, when a dust devil suddenly formed. Filmed by the man's wife, the dust devil is seen sweeping up the paraglider, sending him swirling uncontrollably into the air. Other pilots watched in horror before scrambling to secure the launch match from the destructive dust devil. The man appears to remain calm throughout the terrifying ride, and eventually does regain control of the glider despite the surprise takeoff. If it weren't for his presence in mind, the dust devil could have easily thrown him off the cliff. Like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get 1 week good luck for you. Try this, it really works. Number 14. Under snow and ice. If you think that your daily commute was stressful, wait till you see this. This guy was driving along Interstate 71 Sunday morning when he came across the unexpected. A sudden avalanche hurled down the mountainside, burying everything on its path, including all lanes of the highway. On the video, it looks as if the cars were buried under the white snow. But I'm happy to report that no one did get hurt in this incident. But what we got instead is this piece of unbelievable footage. Number 13. Double crane fail. When lifting heavy objects, it's imperative that you do it on stable ground. In this clip, 2 cranes are lifting a section of the bridge in the Netherlands. A tricky job, but pretty much straightforward. You see the 2 cranes lifting a multi-ton section of the bridge were standing on barges floating on water. The 2 then toppled over along with the section of the bridge. They were lifted onto the buildings on the side when one of the corners of the barge dipped. I'm saying the center of gravity on one of the cranes. Fortunately, there were no people inside the buildings from the section of the bridge, and both cranes fell on top of them. Number 12. Giant squid in USA waters. Giant squids were once thought to be mythical creatures, which gave rise to the Kraken of legend. Now we know that they actually do exist, but everything we know about them comes from carcasses watched on shore. They were finally caught on film in Japan, giving us a rare insight into how they behave out in the wild. But just recently one was also caught on camera in US waters, giving us an idea of how far-ranging these creatures actually are. The NOAA-funded expedition caught a glimpse of a giant squid in the Gulf of Mexico. It was caught by a camera mounted onto a submersible. The scientists were using, and the appearance of the squid totally caught them by surprise. This is the first ever giant squid filmed in USA waters. Number 11. Girl fall. We've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people who were too busy using their phones to look at where they were going, oftentimes with hilarious repercussions. The same thing happened to this poor woman in China. But instead of the ending being funny, it could have very easily been tragic. This woman was just walking along on the sidewalk, talking on her phone, minding her own business. All of a sudden, a sinkhole opened up from beneath her feet, plunging her down 19 feet below the sidewalk. Fortunately, a passing taxi driver saw what happened and immediately came to her aid. He then climbed down the hole, where he found the woman unconscious. He stayed by her until she became conscious and waited with her until rescuers arrived. Number 10. By mere inches. There are many things that could go wrong when you go mountain climbing. While most of these things can be preventable through careful planning and preparation, sometimes Mother Nature herself throws a wrench in all your well-made plans. In this case, she actually threw a rock, a very, very big rock. Cheyenne Anwar was climbing with friends in the Karakoram range known as Sputnik in Pakistan when a huge rock came tumbling down, missing his face by an inch. Cheyenne's group reached base camp but had to remain there for days due to bad weather. It was at base camp that the harrowing footage was filmed. They later found out that around 4,000 cubic meters of rock were ready to fall down on their heads without notice. But despite that, they still chose to stay one more night at base camp before canceling the entire trip the next day. Number 9. Inside Out. Have you ever seen a tree burning from the inside out? I didn't actually think it was possible until I saw this video. Here you can see the tree clearly burning from the inside, leaving the outside layer apart relatively unharmed. It's kind of like spontaneous human combustion. But thankfully, it's not a human burning. Number 8. Engine on fire. On Tuesday, July 10, 2018, 2 crew members and 17 passengers took off on AZSB RV aircraft for a scenic flight. This was from Wonderboom Aerodrome dusted for Pelen's Bergeron Drome in South Africa. During takeoff, the left engine caught fire, which was caught on video by one of the passengers. What was even more puzzling though was the crew continued with the flight. They eventually decided to circle back to where they came from, but it was too late. The fire on the engine intensified, causing the pilots to lose control of the aircraft, and then they crash-landed into a factory building. One passenger lost his life in the crash, which was blamed due to poor maintenance. Number 7. Volcano Diving. This guy dives into highly dangerous active volcanoes, all in the name of science. The footage you're seeing was taken by Cosman inside the crater of the Masaya volcano, an active volcano on the island of Vanuatu. He descended 1,400 feet from the crater in order to get this amazing footage. Cosman is an explorer for National Geography, and the purpose of the dive is to gather data in order to gain more understanding of volcanoes. How did he get so close though? Well, that's thanks to the protective gear he was wearing. The next question would be, how come his GoPro didn't melt? Well, it was actually inside a special heat-resistant case, which you can even get on Kickstarter. Number 6. Sandwiched. Considering what happened to these two, they are lucky to be alive. These two miraculously dodged death in a freak collision after their car was flattened between two heavy loads trucks in southeastern China. Heart-stopping footage shows a huge truck racing down the road before rear-ending a white car at a high speed and squashing against the cement truck on the front. The driver and the passenger of the crash vehicle, which was two teachers, suffered injuries, but they in stable condition when rescuers finally managed to get them out of the crushed vehicle. Both were immediately rushed to the hospital, lucky to be alive after this entire ordeal. Number 5. What sinkhole? This massive sinkhole created commuter chaos in downtown Fukuoka in southwestern Japan in 2016, when the entire width of a major 5-lane road caved in on itself. The sinkhole collapsed at around 5 a.m. local time, leaving a hole about 65 feet deep and waking up nearby residents as it swallowed traffic lights and chunks of road, exposing the support columns of nearby buildings as well. Fortunately, there was little to no computer traffic at the time of the collapse. However, the amazing thing about this is not the sinkhole itself, but in the speed the Japanese government fixed the problem. The intersection was open to traffic a mere 7 days after the incident. Actually, the hole was completely filled in 2 days, but the reopening was delayed due to safety procedures. True testimonies the Japanese ingenuity and efficiency. Number 4. Ants attack. When those so irritating little ants start showing up in the house, raiding the kitchen for our precious crumbs and making cozy homes in our walls, the natural reaction is Satan and or even call an exterminator, right? Well, not this guy. He figured the best course of action involved pouring gasoline into the nest in his backyard, throwing a match in and watching his plan go up quite literally in flames. About 2 seconds after the match hit the gas-soaked soil, the ground cracked and blew up in the air with the force of a mini explosion. Needless to say, please don't try this at home. Number 3. Mount Ontake eruption. On September 27, 2014, and around midday Mount Ontake suddenly erupted, taking hundreds of hikers by surprise. In the footage we see several hikers ascending a steep ridge. In the distance, you can see a gigantic cloud of volcanic ash rising into theirs. It gradually does get larger and larger as it takes over the blue skyline. They begin to scramble down the slate-covered mountain before becoming consumed by smoke and debris. According to reports, there was no significant seismic activity to warn the hikers. This event just shows how unpredictable Mother Nature is exactly. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Here we see a bus being swallowed up by a floodlet. I assure you that the bus was long empty before the waters took it. This may be unbelievable footage to us, but in certain parts of the world such a thing is fairly common. To find out more next with number 2. Swallowed up by a flood. This is the shocking moment a tourist buses toss around like a toy after being swept away by floodwaters, leaving several people stranded. The vehicle can be seen being engulfed by the thick brown water as it swept downstream. The good thing the vehicle was already empty though by the time of the flash flood. Locals had reportedly warned the tourist bus to have about the dangers of the sudden flash flood. India's monsoon season causes numerous landslides and flash floods every year, leading to blocked roads and stranded passengers. Before moving to the next number, we just want small favor from you. Our team is working hard behind the scenes and we love to see your reaction on our channel and videos. Please like this video first and subscribe to our channel. Press the bell icon to get a notification of our upcoming videos. Do it and you will get good for upcoming days. Number 1. Electrifying experience. Had you ever wondered what would happen if lightning struck a high voltage power line? If you thought a huge fireball in complete and utter chaos, then you would be right, my friend. A lightning bolt has ignited a massive fireball over a Chinese city after it struck high voltage power lines. Footage shows a loud bang rocking the city of Shenyang today, before a blaze broke out seconds after leaving residents in shock. The event took place during the evening rush hour in the Dex district of Shenyang, the provincial capital of Liaoning. It even started a grass fire. Surprisingly, the incident did not cause any damage of the public facility or interrupt the local electrical services. Got any more unbelievable videos? Leave us a link in the comments below. We'd love to see them. Also feel free to check out the channel's other amazing videos.